Hi everybody, it's time for part 2 of the concrete lamp. Today we are going to disassemble the mold. The concrete has been curing for about a week now. The waiting can be awful, but the reward will be that you will get a really good looking concrete lamp if you just can stand to wait. As you can see, the concrete looks really good. It's a hard surface. That will be great when we are polishing it with the diamond pads. Start by removing the cable gland. It's really important that you follow my instructions and disassemble the mold in the right order, else it might break because it's designed to be disassembled in a specific way. Remove the plug mold and use a knife and a plier to remove the E27 mold. Don't rush anything. Before removing the E27 mold, use a drill to drill out the other plug mold, because you won't get out the E27 mold before you have drilled out the plug mold. For the last part of the E27 mold, it might be to your help to remove the bottom part of the mold, but make sure that you're doing this slowly so you don't break any edges when you are removing the bottom part. Once the E27 mold is out, you might want to try the fit with the E27 socket. Looking good, right? Time to remove the button mold. This is the hardest part, so be a little bit careful so you don't break anything. We have come to the last part of the disassembly. Untie the screws and remove the sides slowly so you don't break any edges. In the 3D model, I have placed some dents where you can use a screwdriver to spread the concrete mold. I'm repeating it once again. Carefully, carefully. There is some grease left of Vaseline. Just use your finger or a paper to remove it. And what goes for the casting? Great success! The first thing we want to do is to use our diamond pad 60 grit to round all the edges. Once the edges are rounded, it's not that fragile anymore. Now it's time to start polishing the concrete. Have a bucket full of water where you dip your diamond pads. Use a circular motion. Then move your way up. Use the next grit, the 120 grit, the 200 grit, the 400 grit, and so on. As you can see, the concrete already starts to shine. Beautiful! You can stop at the 800 grit because there is some pores in the concrete that we will make a concrete slurry. And when we are using the concrete slurry, we want it to adhere, so 800 grit is good enough. After you're done with polishing, make sure that you clean it with clean water and let it dry for half an hour. This is probably what it will look like when you have polished it the first time. Before mixing the slurry, wet the concrete a little bit. I'm using something called concrete acrylate that I mix with water to make the slurry adhere even better. I'm using a stir to stir the concrete because I don't want a big aggregate in the slurry. If you want some patina for your concrete lamp, just like me, I added some concrete pigment, black iron oxide concrete pigment. I'm using a plastic glove to apply the slurry. I have to admit, I forgot to cover the cable gland, so just put some tape around the threads. So for you guys, do this before you apply the slurry. Leave the concrete to cure for about 10-15 minutes, then remove the excessive slurry using your plastic glove. When you're done with the slurry, it will probably look something like this. 24 hours later, it's time to polish one last time. You can now start with a 200 grit and move all the way up to 3000 grit. After the last polish, it will probably look something like this. This is it for part 2. Stay tuned for part 3 next week. Don't forget to subscribe and like. Thank you guys for watching. Bye bye.